Hi, my name is Michael Graves. I'm a mastering engineer and an audio restoration specialist. I've been doing this for about 25 years. I've been fortunate enough to win 5 Grammy Awards, and I've been nominated 14 times for the work that I do. My specialty is audio restoration. That means that I work with older historical recordings. It means I work with a lot of reissue labels, so a lot of classic records, any genre, jazz, rock, hip hop, any part of the world. And a lot of times people think that when a reissue happens, the label just goes to the vault, pulls out a tape, and cuts a new record from it. There's a lot more involved. And also that sort of assumes that a tape exists. I do a lot of work with recordings in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s. This predates tape. So what that means is that we have to go to the commercially recorded record that was released to the public and work from that as a source. So I might take an old 78 from 1934, play it on my turntable, try to remove as much noise as I can using the correct needle, using a clean record. Then once it's digitized, I have a variety of tools that I use to clean it up. And it takes a very delicate hand to do something like that, because I think we've probably all heard audio restoration where it will suck the life out of music, and nobody wants that. So there's a very delicate balance into removing the noise, but keeping the original art intact. When Jack and I started working together, he brought some samples with him, and I'm always looking for something that sounds like my room. And he gave me try a pair, and I told him what I liked, what I didn't like. And then he went back and changed some things and came back using my recommendations with some adjustments. And we eventually settled on a pair that I thought sounded, like a professional studio, something like a professional listening environment, things that I'm used to. I actually thought that the first pair sounded pretty great until he brought the new ÉTOILEs to me, and I realized how much better they could sound. So I was very happy when he brought the new pairs we're going to try out. Jack and I have always worked well together. He takes criticism well, and I'm pretty light in my criticism. We both want to do what's best for whatever we want to do. I think we approach things very similarly. We have a very high bar for what we find acceptable. So there's no clashes. We both are pretty much on the same wavelength as far as how we think things should sound. I have a very specific idea in my head about what I wanted to have in my ears to do my work properly, and Jack was very receptive to that. So we just went round and round through different iterations of versions of these IEMs until we finally settled on one that I thought was just perfect, and Jack was very happy with that also. So it was really a great collaboration. As far as bringing the emotional qualities to the ÉTOILEs, that's really more Jack's job. We sort of speak the same language. We sort of do the same thing. When I do my work, when I'm restoring and when I'm mastering a project, I always want to keep that emotional connection intact. And if I can enhance it in any way, I will do that. Music and listening is all about that emotional connection. And I think Jack understands that also, which is another reason we get along so well. But, I do my thing with my mastering and restoration to enhance that emotional connection. And Jack does the same thing with his IEMs. For those of us working in the commercial recording music industry, all we want to do is make sure that what we do connects with the listener. And anything that facilitates that is just fantastic, right? That's what we all want. That's what I love. Again, this is what I love about what Jack does with his IEMs, is that I know that whoever's listening on those IEMs is going to hear music the way we intend for it to be heard. Before I was using Jack's IEMs, I was using over-the-ear monitors, over-the-ear headphones. And I could do my job, and I did it, but it was not nearly as effective as it was until I started using Jack's IEMs. So in that regard, it's become an indispensable part of my signal chain, a part of my workflow. And on the mastering side, a mastering studio is a little bit different than a mixing studio. We're not using near-field monitors like an NS10 or something like that. A mastering studio is set up really more like an audiophile's listening room, because we want to hear how the consumer is going to be listening to music. And we need to make sure that music translates well. And music translation is a thing that all mastering engineers are trying to achieve. What that means is, will the recording sound good in your home stereo? Will it sound good in your car stereo? Will it sound good on your personal listening devices? The IEMs that Jack makes, especially the ÉTOILEs, when I put those on after the final version that Jack and I worked on, I felt like I was listening to my mastering studio, which again, it checks all the boxes for me. I can be technical enough to do my restoration work, but also pleasing enough to do my mastering part of my job.